Okay, we're just about to have the intro going, so everybody get ready. My earliest memory is riding in my grandfather's boat, arm over the side, hand in the spray. I've spent much of the rest of my life chasing this feeling. All of that has led to this, the wooden boat experience. Hello everyone. I can always count on myself to forget to hit that mute button. Okay, we're going to get right into video number one. We have, hey Nina, we have 3 videos tonight, and they're all 7 to 8 minutes, I think. And there's Brittany. So the first one is going to be our visit to Gary Green's shop in Lake Hartwell in Georgia. Well, I guess it's in Hartwell, Georgia, but right by Lake Hartwell. Then we'll have Jim Grant's shop, and then we'll see what I did this week. So I don't want to bore you with talking. Let's get right into Gary Green. Here we go.
That used to have a steering station in the back. They moved it forward, cannibalized it, so I'm just going to turn it into an open fisherman.
Open fisherman?
Yeah. It's not in too bad shape. You know?
No, it's not.
Which one goes first?
I've never looked at the small ones. I didn't know that they had 2 different sizes of ribs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they go 2 and then 1, and then 2 and then 1, huh?
And the 15's that way too.
Interesting.
It went upside down, hanging upside down. And the finish went up on the road. That's in 1961. That's the first year of what I call the wide body Lyman.
Right.
And this was one like, do I really need this? You know.
I wanted one of those outboards so bad when I was a kid.
Oh, the electric ship?
Oh, my goodness, I wanted one of those things.
This one's been pretty damn good. Well, this is one of those boats, Scott, that I found this at the International Boat Show in Port Huron. And a guy was 83 years old trying to sell it. And the long and the short story was that he had it up there, and he was trying to get $7,500 for it. Croaky. He was sitting across the way with me, and he went over and looked at him and his son, and he came back, and he says, that boat's really in nice shape. So I went over to the old fellow and I said, I've never bought a boat that I didn't have to work on. So if you don't sell it by the end of the show, I'll give you $6,000 for it. I ended up with it. And my wife blew a gasket when I came home.
Oh, yeah, man.
And I haven't done a thing to it since then. And it runs great. You know, it's just really a nice boat.
Wait, this looks, is this paint?
Yes.
Is that Kirby paint?
No.
It looks like the color, one of the colors Kirby has.
I think that's santan, if I'm not mistaken.
It looks a little too yellow for that. It looks like straw.
Okay, could be.
This is really nice. I love the colors of this. It's just beautiful.
This is another one of those. Oh, I can't walk away from this.
Jeepers, Lee, look at all those rows on there. It's not just clenched over.
No,
There's a lot of work there.
These are rivets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting construction. It's not a Wyman. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you don't usually see the rows done that way.
Yeah.
You see them on the ribs. You don't generally see them on the strakes.
Yep. And that's a 12-foot, 19-foot canvas over Thompson.
That's a Thompson?
Yeah, 1950. I bought that for $60 in Vermont in a barn. And boy, I'll tell you something, I'll never do canvas ever again.
Well, you know Andy Derby that comes on the channel?
Yeah.
That's Andy loves to do that stuff.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Is this the one the guys want to come get?
No, he's coming to get the Bruce Malone boat.
That's the Toxaway boat.
Yeah,
Is this varnish or Citrol?
that's varnish. It's his son's work.
It has the color of it must be the stain has a little bit different color to it.
Yeah.
You know, Citrol has that almost kind of orangey brown look.
What was that? You ever seen it? Pulsifer Hamptons, the guy up in Maine builds?
No.
They're like 1/4 inch, like inch and a quarter strip, pine planking and all. And he actually has get-togethers. They go all over the coast of Maine camping and all. But he coats everything in Citrol, and a guy on a lake up in North Carolina had one, and that's Citrol. I hated that stuff.
Well, we do it on Jay's Cruzette that I take care of.
Yeah.
That's what he likes on his deck.
That holds up really well.
It does really hold up well. Oh yeah, I wear a respirator for everything, so I don't smell it. Well, that's going to really weight down the boat, that motor there.
Yeah.
Oh,
but traction motor.
But the traction horsepower of that thing.
Yeah.
It'd be like putting a Tesla motor in your boat.
Oh, I was in a Tesla. I couldn't believe how fast that thing was.
Yeah. This is the seat side of that little yellow jacket over there.
Oh, yellow. I've been seeing a ton of yellow jackets on Facebook lately.
Roy Rogers, cowboy.
Oh, really?
Almost every ad you see in a magazine's got him in his cowboy outfit sitting in the yellow jacket.
Well, if it weren't for Facebook, I wouldn't know what a yellow jacket was.
These hulls are molded, there's like 5 different hull styles. They were all done by a company in Canada. And they were done on a jig. And see, it was before cold curing glue.
Are these the ones that are put in the oven?
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
mean, back then there was no cold curing glue like West System.
You had to heat it up.
Put in an autoclave.
How many layers is this? Is it more than one?
It's a lot. It's like,
I mean, how many?
Layers of wood.
Oh, I think it's about 8 or 9.
Oh, so really thin stuff then, huh?
Veneer, the skinny stuff.
Oh, okay. Is it the same as the transom's thicker?
No, this is thicker.
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of veneers.
It's like half the size of that outer veneer.
That's right here, guys.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Light on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers there. So Jimmy, you're doing most of the varnishing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Right there, you look. I mean, there's a pile of Max Snap-on tools. I mean, like this big. He goes
Dexolay on the inside.
On the inside, but not on here though, right?
Yeah, this is all epiphanes.
Okay, yeah.
That's what the.
What'd you do? Just wire brush these?
Yeah, I think you just
These
put
up?
on the wire wheel.
So how much do you work here whenever you're not at school?
Yeah.
And doing your homework? So you going full time?
Yeah, I'm off for the summer right now.
Oh, okay. So what year are you in?
Third year,
Oh, no, so you're not that much longer.
not too much longer.
Okay. Seems to be a little pause here. It's nice to see Jimmy, who is so young, he's only 21, doing this kind of work. There's 2 things before we get to his dad's shop that I want to mention. One is that tomorrow around noon, we're going to have a live stream from the boat museum, and that's going to be the beginning section of one of the speedboat rides in a hackercraft, a 30-foot hackercraft. I think it's a 2006 502 Chevy. It'll be pretty cool. It'll be me and another captain, Robin. And also, next week is episode 42, and it's going to be the last episode of season 2. And we'll have more information in a post on YouTube about that, and also on next week's episode. But I can tell you, if you really want to keep up, being on Patreon is going to be a big thing for you this summer. So you can join Patreon for only $1 a month. So it's not a huge amount. But if you join up, you're going to have a lot more updates and a lot of stuff during the summer. I will be doing some live streams, but there's not going to be any pattern to them. So next week, we'll have Thursday night, and then, of course, the live stream, get the recordings on Friday. So let's take a look at Jimmy's dad's shop, Jim Grant, also in Hartwell, Georgia.
I can't let you go, baby.
two boats were sold by Mercer in New York.
Yep.
That one's Mercer. My 41 25-foot Chris Craft Sportsman was Mercer, and a 42 22-foot Chris Craft I got is Mercer.
That's crazy.
And I picked the two big ones up from one place and the third one from somewhere else. And I was just shot. They're all Mercer in Clayton, New York.
That's nuts. That must have been one heck of a dealership.
Yeah, I went trying to find it, and I talked to somebody old in Clayton when I was up there at that show. They said, oh yeah, he was over there around the corner, but they've torn everything down.
Got a pretty good sized shop here.
5,100 square feet. See, then the tall building over there's got boats and cars, and it's got a pallet rack 20 feet up with about 30 old marine engines on it.
So you do more car work or boat work?
More car work now because I had back surgery and the nerve pain never went away.
Oh.
So I can't crawl in them anymore. And so I don't do woodwork anymore. I'm still going to do mechanical work on them. This is a 1930 24-foot triple. That the previous owner restored himself, and he passed away. And
Now is that paint or stain? The yellow? It almost looks like it's paint.
well, everybody thinks Carina blonde stain is the blonde stain, but that was the interior cruiser, and it looks like paint when it goes on. Now the Cordova is a peachy color when you take it out of the can, but when you get about 6-7 coats of the amber varnish on it,
It evens
gets
it
the
up.
beautiful blonde.
Okay.
But now Chris Craft originally just used natural, like
Natural,
white.
and then they'll let the amber turn it.
And then
to
they just
color,
let
right?
the amber. But
Yeah.
sometimes, depending on what your wood's like, you gotta balance it. And then there's a Riviera in the booth that's been getting.
I was wondering how you did finishing in here. You know how you cut it off. Oh, nice.
This is just, I did this.
Ah, it smells like home.
I did this one, God, must have been 18 years ago, restored it. And then it lives in a boathouse, but he let the back end cook.
Oh, he didn't put a
So
cover
you
over
can
it.
still see some crazing in there.
Yeah.
But I've done 6 build-up coats of varnish, which were kind of bonded all together.
And what are you using for
This
varnish?
is, for a lot of the build-up coats now, about 10 years ago, I started using the All-Spar Classic varnish.
I never use that.
Well, yeah, it's all grip, but it's All-Spar Classic
Okay.
varnish. Well, you can do 2 coats a day. You put it on in the morning, it's dried enough, so you get your build-up coats really good, because you gotta wait 7-10 days anyway. You gotta wait a week too, so because you go to sand it, and it just, it's not
Those little-
gooey, but it clogs up your paper.
Right,
So-
it gets those little
so
things
you
on
wait
there.
7 days on this, and it's a perfect powder.
Oh, nice.
And see, now that is the hatch for another Riviera that's under the blankets up there. But that's the Cordova stain, new wood. It's 10 coats of the All-Spar with 2 coats of Epiphanes. And now you're seeing the grain because it's been sitting there about 4 years. And so the varnish is sunk in
Right. So you're using the Epiphanes, the high gloss marine Epiphanes, right?
for the last 2 coats.
Okay. Do you use the other, what is it called, the wood finish?
I used to use that before
Before you did that, okay.
Like the first 10 years I did this, I used the wood finish gloss. And depending on my life at the time, the wood finish gloss is great because if you miss a day or 2,
Not a big
you
deal.
got 72 hours
Right.
without staining it. So sometimes it's great. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on.
What do you put for the first coat if you're using that? You still put that for the
Thin
first
it.
coat? You what?
Thin it.
Thin it. Okay, so you are using that. You're not using the high gloss for that. Okay. And it's a lot cheaper too, right?
Yeah, not much. Maybe a buck or 2. And all I use is the gin brush foam brushes.
I have not been able to use foam brushes and be
Now,
happy.
you using poly brush?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. It was a while ago and I couldn't stand it, so I never tried it again.
These are the only American-made ones. Take those, get you a scrap piece of wood. You've already got some, this varnish, smooth varnish on,
Uh-huh.
and give it a try. Because see, everything
Poly brush.
else is Chinese and it's crap.
So do these have, is there a rubber piece inside?
There's a plastic piece.
How much do you scrape it off? Like how far are you dipping it? How much you scraping it?
I'll dip it to about here,
Okay.
and then I get it on.
Do that again, Jim.
About right there.
Okay.
And then you divide up, like on this one, I'll do up to the bung lines.
Okay.
There's my sections, go this side and that side. So
And it'll still be wet on wet when you
it'll be
go.
wet enough.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to put a little thinner in it, but I'll just
You're going hard.
I did get cut, but then I'm using a 4-inch and a 2-inch. So like the deck, I'll be using that 4-inch.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'll be doing like this.
So you're putting it on with the bigger one and tipping with the smaller
No,
one?
I still tip with this one.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll get it all on, and then like for this first one, I mean, I'll go like this.
Always with the grain, right?
Well,
as much as you can.
Once you get the grain filled, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So it depends on the areas.
Right.
But then you got to tip it off, and said I use this one, I'll come and I'll do this one to get here in the groove, and I'll do the same thing. I'll go like this.
And then you're just tossing them?
Yep.
When you're done?
I'll do like this whole boat. If I did the whole boat, it would be 4 of these, 2 to 3 of these, and I got a little 1-inch one. I'll go around and dab like there's a little run, and I'll use one of those. And that's if I don't drop one.
And you're talking about for a day? For a day's work?
For one coat.
Okay.
And see,
and you'll do this whole boat in one day? You'll try to, if you have time?
The deck and the transom is 30 minutes in the hatch.
That's a lot faster than a brush, than a bristle brush.
Yeah, you'll spend an hour cleaning your brush before you use it.
And taking the hairs out of the...
Yep, and then cleaning it after you use it.
You might convert me.
So, I mean, try those out. Like I said, everything else is Chinese.
So do you have any for Jimmy, or you figure you're still going to use those up? At what point are they going to be yours?
No, Jimmy comes down here. He'll come home and go, I got a couple of boxes of brushes for Gary.
Well, look at that little tiny transom.
Now, Gargantua, that was at the Clayton, New York show.
Oh, really?
And that was one I restored, and it won first place.
And what was that?
That was a 46, 19-foot Garwood post-war, one of the Commodores.
So did the boat get destroyed, or did you?
No.
That was the old transom.
That was the original transom when he bought it. We changed the name and all, and then it came through, and we went completely through it a couple years later.
And what about hot tip?
That was one that it was so rotten the engine had fallen through and was sitting on the axle when I hauled it out of South Georgia. But that was the transom off. I said hot tip. I said that's
an awesome transom. What was that boat? Looks pretty flat.
20-foot Chris Craft Sportsman.
Oh.
And had the MCL engine in it, was the top of the line, had the 3rd extra seat. I mean, that boat was loaded out from the factory.
Boy, that doesn't, when you see that up there, you wouldn't think that was big enough to be on that boat.
Yeah. If you read the articles about the last Miss America 9 race, that they took a chisel and chiseled open part of the deck before the race to solder up a crack in the gas tank. Uh-huh. And half the front deck had been replaced from damage in the 50s. And so when we pulled the plywood patch off to try to repair it, the original three little 2-foot piece sections they had chiseled out were in there.
Oh, they're still sitting in the boat.
Well, no, they were still true to the deck.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
Those, but see this edge right here. This is one of the main planks still left, and that's where the patch started.
Oh.
And this was one of the fuel fillers that was on there.
And that's from Miss America 9.
Yep, because we ended up having to replace the whole deck to make it right.
That's awesome. Thanks. This is going up. I think this is going in the boat shed. This needs to go someplace safer than that. This might go in the studio where I can lock it up better.
But see, the finish had already been stripped off. But all this, see, the old varnish in the 30s turned black like old furniture.
Uh-huh.
That's all varnish from over the years when they varnished the deck.
Just dripping down, huh? And this is cedar?
Yep. Because, I mean, race boats were built light for if it made it 2 years, that's about what they wanted.
And here that piece is right here. Sits up above my desk in a nice safe spot. It's kind of cool to have that piece of history here. Hey, Speckles, you gonna say hi to people? Get up here. Come here. I gotta turn the thing down. Oh, you gotta back up. Say hello. Oh, Speckles, he's a piece of work. Okay, so we got one more video, what happened this week. Thanks again to Gary and Yoon and Jim and Jimmy and all the other people that helped us out down there. It was really awesome. The boat ride and the lineman from last week, that was really cool. Hartwell isn't a huge place, and it's neat to see 2 shops like that there, and who knows, there may be more of them hidden back in the weeds. I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a hotbed for wooden boats down there. So we got one more video, and I think we'll get right into it. Let me click on the right button here. Let's see what I did this week. spring cleaning on Jay's lineman. And there's a couple things to think about when you're doing this. For one thing, you start at the top, work your way down, because stuff is going to fall off even with a good vacuum cleaner as you're working on it. Another thing is pick a small section at a time and complete that whole section, high to low. Now, I picked the whole deck as a section, and then the upper interior. And then as I get here, I'm going to pick this rectangle right here. I'm going to work on the floor frames, work my way down to the strakes. This is a good time also to make sure that there's no problems, you know. Knock on the strake, make sure nothing's gotten rotted that you didn't pay attention to before or just didn't notice because all the floors were in. And don't step on the strakes. Step on the ribs or on the stringer. Do not step in between on these strakes. You're putting an awful lot of pressure on when you do that. Get the boat cleaned up for spring, and then all that water isn't going to soak all this stuff up and leave places for rot next fall. Okay, back to it. A couple of more things to remember. Oh, the lead just came out of my pencil. I'm going to have to go grab another one. This one's not sharpened. I wondered what just fell. I heard something fall down there. But when you do this, even if you're not the person that fixes your boat, you need to know your boat. And cleaning your own boat and vacuuming out the bilge is a good way to learn what's good about your boat and what's bad about your boat. And every time you see something wrong, like I realized there's a screw missing on this drink holder, I'm going to write that down in this sheet of paper because I know that tomorrow, if I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember I need to replace the screw in there. And then next season, I'll be looking at that being loose again, unless somebody points it out to me. So know your boat, and when you go to the shop, you'll be able to better explain to them what you think needs to be done, and you'll better understand what they tell you needs to be done and the bill that they give you. Also, this cleaning job that I'm doing right here, probably even from the time lapse, doesn't look like it's taking that long, and it's not because we do it every year. When you do it every year, it's a couple-hour job to go through here. You're inspecting the boat, you're cleaning the boat. You don't have to go in and dig out these spots right here where there's that little open triangle between the strake overlap, and this rib. You don't have to dig that out because year to year, there's usually not that kind of buildup. If it's the first time you're doing this to your boat and nobody's ever done it before, you're going to be here a day or two to do it properly by the time you take the seats out, because you can't clean under here very well, not the first time without removing the seat, getting under the gas tank and everything. So those are what I say to do to make your boat last longer. If you don't have all those rot spots, there's way less chance of your boat having holes in the bottom or needing new strakes. It's going to happen eventually, but maybe it'll be 10 years later down the road. That's what we're shooting for. I do it to Jay's boat. I also do it to that boat over there. Now, should Jay clean his own boat? Well, maybe, but I'm the one that's going to work on it. I'm a lot closer to this boat because it's kept right next to mine, and I'm the one that works on it. So he trusts me to do it. If you don't know your yard very well, then you should trust yourself more than you trust other people. Well, now it's vacuumed. Next, what I'll do is bring some warm water, lightly soapy water, wipe the whole thing down. I don't want to varnish or Citrol in any spider crap into the finish. So I'll wipe it all down with warm water with a really wrung out wet cloth. It won't be dripping water. I won't have to rinse it off afterwards. And then I'll go over and do the interior of my lineman because that's still got all the sanding dust from scuffing off the varnish. That'll give this a chance to dry. I'll come back to this and I'll wipe it down with special brushing thinner, just a light wipe down. And then I'll put 2 coats of Citrol just on the deck surfaces, the sides, the rear deck, the front deck, the windshield, 2 coats of Citrol. And then the interior, there may be a couple spots I might have to touch up the varnish, but that's pretty good, except for the top of this piece of plywood right here. I will sand down the very top of this and put a few coats of something on there, but that's got to be addressed because no matter how well you keep your boat, if you don't have it covered, this is a terrible spot right here. It really should have a piece of solid wood on it. I don't know. That's something for another time. So now I'm done with this for now. I'm going to go get some warm water, and I forgot my respirator, and I can't work with that special brushing thinner without a respirator. So I'm heading back home. Oh, this would be easier if it's in my boat shop, wouldn't it? Things seem to be going in the wrong direction here. We've added another boat to the mix. Now we'll get them all in the water eventually. No matter how many times I see it, this still surprises me that a stripe that can have such a strange shape like this. I mean, this looks really uneven. But then as you go back and get to water level, it turns into a straight line. That's so cool. Okay, so those are our videos. If anybody has any questions about anything, throw them up in the chat and I'll answer them for you. Like I said, we have the live stream tomorrow at around noon. I don't know exactly what time it is because of water conditions and the boat and everything, but it'll be right around noon. Tomorrow morning, this video, the recording of this video will be out as episode 42. Next Thursday, we'll have a live stream, the last regular scheduled live stream of season 2. And then the next morning, the video will come out. Actually, it may be more than one video because we have to have the video of that recording and of the boat museum. We'll see. I'll see how that works on the following Friday. I haven't figured that out yet. So I appreciate everybody showing up. I'm sorry season 2 seems like it's ending abruptly, but summer's coming. And I've got to get the Chris Craft done. And between everything that's going on, you know, doing the videos each week and everything, it's just too much. So if you're on Patreon, you're going to see what's happening. You're going to see some videos and some different things. If you're just on YouTube, you're still going to get some live streams occasionally. I don't know what that's going to amount to. I think for the first couple of weeks, it won't be much. But after that, I'm hoping there'll be some stuff from the skiff, which is going in the water on Sunday. And from the Lyman as well, and hopefully from Unbeknownst eventually. So that's what's going on and what's happening. And again, I appreciate all you guys, all the Patreon members, everybody that orders from GlassGoat or orders from our Etsy store. Whatever you do, even liking, subscribing, all that stuff is a big help. So I'll talk a lot more about next week about why season 2 is ending now and what we're going to do for season 3. When season 3 is going to be different than season 2, and we don't even know exactly what that's going to be yet. We're still thinking about that. So Rick says, busy week. Yeah, Rick, I didn't even put everything in there because sometimes it's some of the stuff didn't get filmed. And Nina mentions it too. Yeah, it is a lot, but this week we're trying to get Jay's boat in the water, so I think that's going to happen Monday. We did paint the white topsides today on that. All I have left to do is the boot stripe. I did 2 coats of Citrol, cleaned it up, painted the white topsides today. Jay actually did the first coat of bottom paint. Jay doesn't like to paint. He has a hard time with it, so I'm trying to train him a little bit at a time so he can do more of it. So we did that. And I'll start concentrating on my lineman next week. But I really wanted the St. Lawrence skiff in the water so I can start rowing. So hopefully that'll happen Sunday. So thank you, Nina, and you have a great summer as well. And I will see all you guys next Thursday. Have a good one.